Before we begin, could everybody please rise for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk take the roll?
Bob?
Here.
Alicia? Here. Mary? Here. Steve?
Present.
Alan?
Here. Do we have any citizen input? Next, we have the consent agenda. I need a motion to accept the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the May 4th, 2021 Town Council meeting, minutes of the May 13th, 2021 Town Council meeting, acceptance, resignation of Marge DeRue from the Advisory Board on Disabilities, acceptance of resignation from Alicia Myers from Advisory Board on Disabilities.
I'll make that motion to accept the consent agenda as read and presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk take the roll?
Bob?
Aye.
Alicia? Aye. Mary? Aye. Steve?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Announcements, do we have any announcements tonight? Okay. General orders, old business, none tonight. Ordinance and resolutions. I need a motion to accept resolution 20 or to approve resolution 2021-21, offer of employment to Joseph A. Martin as full-time fire chief.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
If I may, Mr. President, this is what you have attached to the agreement, or to the resolution rather, is the proposed agreement, which the vote would be to authorize you to execute the agreement for the town.
Okay.
In case it becomes an offer, and upon Mr. Martin's signature, it is an accepted offer.
Okay.
For the full-time position, he's already occupying a part-time position.
Any other discussion on that?
Yes, the only discussion is everything's been back from the medical on the 17th. On the 18th, the appropriations were done to expand for the full-time chief. Only thing we're waiting on is the pension board. And now that you have approved the minutes, when we are done tonight, I will send these to the pension board after the president signs.
Okay, thank you. Will the clerk take the roll?
Bob?
Aye.
Alicia?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
Alan?
Aye, motion carries 5-0. New business, appointment to park board. I need a motion to appoint Marge DeRue to the park board.
So moved.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Was there an application by her for the park board? I haven't seen anything.
I don't believe there was an application, but she has already gone through the vetting process as being on the Disability Advisory Board.
So there was no application for the park board and no discussion with the rest of the council?
There was no application, no.
So the other part of that question is, and there was no discussion with the rest of the council?
There was discussion with 3 members of the council.
3 members discussed it and made a decision to put her on and put this motion on there?
Yes, that's correct.
I don't think you're allowed to do it outside of a public meeting.
No, that's incorrect. You're not allowed to meet in private and make a decision. Was any sort of decision reached at this meeting, or who was present?
No.
What was the nature of this discussion? Now that it's been raised, we have to.
I stated that wrong. There was never 3 council members together at the same time. I discussed it with Council Member Tanis over the phone, and then I discussed it with Council Member Starkey, I believe, at the last park board meeting.
Okay, was any conclusion reached by any of you independently?
No.
Marge did call and she said that she was resigning from the disabilities board. She told me even before we even discussed the park.
Before you discussed with Mr. Root?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't sound like there's been any statutory violation to me.
So my issue isn't against the person specifically. The issue is not bringing it up before the whole council, so we all have an opportunity to review and talk to this person about it. And so, but I understand you got 3 votes and that's how you're gonna do it, so.
Well, that's what this forum is for. We're
Right.
having a discussion now.
Yeah, we
We have
can,
it now? Is the individual here?
no, she is not.
She didn't show up for her own meeting
It's not her meeting.
to be appointed?
A lot of people get appointed that don't show up.
I don't know. I just,
Right.
listen, I don't know why you keep people out of the circle that you're picking people for these boards and commission. To me, it's disrespectful. That's why it bothers me. Doesn't mean we all have to agree, but respectfully, especially as a president, you should be informing everyone about what's going on instead of bringing it up at a public
Everybody
meeting
was
at the
informed.
last
The only
minute.
person that wasn't informed was you.
Okay.
I've
And
reached out for you. You do not try to
listen,
contact
Alan,
me.
You haven't reached out to me. Come on, don't.
Okay,
I got my phone here, all records, everything. You have
Okay.
not. So all I'm asking, next time, please, even this time, please reach out. Not only myself, but Alicia and all the other council members. And if we can, we should do that at executive session. That's what an executive session is also for, right?
I think the last 2 board members we appointed without an executive session.
That is correct.
So,
And so the record is clear, Mr. President. There was an appointment made to the park board at our last special meeting. It might be
Right.
advisable to explain the reason for this.
yes, at the last council meeting, we voted on, I forgot her name, a person for the park board. It was a unanimous vote. However, the next day she turned that position down,
Audrey.
Audrey. So,
Was there a written resignation or
She didn't accept the appointment.
she never accepted it?
She called it declined. She had put that down.
Okay.
As they were called to review her application, that's all.
All right, that's all I have. I'm not going to continue on.
well, the,
Audrey Gunn.
excuse me.
Audrey Gunn.
Yes.
Okay. So I need a motion to appoint Marge DeRue to the park board.
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second? Hearing no further discussion, will the clerk take the roll?
Aye. Alicia?
No, you can.
No. Nay.
Speak into
No.
the mic.
Mary?
Aye.
Steve?
No.
Alan?
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have the 2020 GO bond legal fees.
Yes, I know I've run through this before with the utility board and the park board, but just so we have a record for this body. The GO bond that was issued in 2020 was in the amount of $2 million. As you know, my fee agreement with the town provides that bond fees for the issuance of bonds are separately negotiated from the normal monthly rate I charge. It used to be common past practice among attorneys to charge a percentage of the bond issue. That is no longer accepted practice as stated by the Indiana Supreme Court. What attorneys have done in the past few years have migrated to a flat fee arrangement, which is favored. And the factors that factor into a flat fee that determine reasonableness are all outlined in Section 5 of the proposed fee agreement here. Namely, time and labor required, novelty and difficulty of the questions involved, skill requisite to perform the legal service properly, the fee customarily charged in the locality for representation on this type of issue, the amount involved in the results obtained, time limitations imposed by the client or by the circumstances, the nature and length of the professional relationship with the counsel, and the experience, reputation, and ability of the lawyer. those are lifted right out of the rule. You also have in your packet a tabulation of the time I spent relating to all three bonds. Some of the work kind of bled over into each other. So you have the geo, the park, and the the water bond all together. Given all of these factors, my request and my proposal is for a flat fee of $20,000, which if we're going to compare, that's 1% of the bond issue. Based on attorneys I've talked to and my knowledge of the practice in the area, that falls in the range of a reasonable attorney fee for this type of work, for this amount of a bond issue. And as far as the results obtained, I would like to emphasize not only did the bond issue by the end of the year, but Dyer obtained a AA+ bond rating from Standard, which helped with the financing. And I'm not going to take all the credit for that, but my work factored into that. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer them. And I'll end my presentation there.
Just so the town council is aware, the only bond fee we are dealing with tonight is the 2020 GEO bond issue, and the fee is $20,000. Do I have a motion to approve that legal fee?
I'll make the motion to approve the 2020 GO bond issue of $20,000.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk take the roll?
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Alan,
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Next, we have the 2021 local roads resurfacing. Neil, you want to step forward, please?
Always like the Leo come through.
Indeed, welcome, and welcome to you.
Thank you.
Just a couple items. We have the local 2021 road resurfacing projects. It was something we discussed 2 months ago at your meeting. And then we discussed at the last meeting reviewing how we might extend those prices of the publicly bid Reith Riley quantities. And I worked with Adam on that, and we came to the conclusion that it does meet state statutes. Again, I'm no attorney, but I'll defer to Adam if he has any comment on that. But based on our initial estimates of recent project costs, we were looking in the range of $670,000 for these projects that you have in your packet. And being able to extend the Reith Riley prices, we're in the neighborhood of $522,000 to complete these projects. And the roads specifically, we're looking at are Castlewood and Queens, 215th east of Sheffield, Coral, Devon, Northwoods, and then the Brighton Woods area road resurfacing projects.
Yeah, just to clarify, this additional amount is in the nature of a change order, so it doesn't affect the original project bid.
Okay.
Good.
It's similar to what we're going to be doing with Harrison as well, which they agreed to extend those prices also.
Thank you, Neil.
Thank you.
I'm going to bring you up later regarding the crosswalk.
Do that. Do you want?
Well, yeah, you know what? Go ahead. Go with Adam.
If you guys don't mind indulging me for a second, been working with Adam on a concept that's been discussed recently regarding a mid-block pedestrian crossing on Hart Street in the Pheasant Hills area. And we've reviewed several Indiana codes. Some of them I understood, some of them I had to have several explanations to. But once I got that direction from the town attorney, we reviewed the MUTCD, the Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, and based on this area, an engineering study is required, but my recommendation is to do as minimal of an engineering study as possible so that we can determine the warrant for this signalization crossing in that area of Hart Street, somewhere north of Mary, near Pheasant Hills. But the ideal situation is to minimize that engineering study so you can put more funds and efforts into the construction of that signalization in that area.
first time I've ever heard an engineering contractor say
You
that.
know, I'd rather spend my money getting pipe in the ground than writing a report.
And just to be clear, the town, this was kind of a convoluted project. The town code references the highway commission standards. Well, the highway commission regulations have been repealed and those have been transferred to the DOT. So while our ordinance is out of date, it doesn't change it just changes where we have to look. And the DOT adopts the manual on uniform traffic control devices. And it says, I don't know what the number is, but it has a very clear standard of what the minimum threshold is for a signal at a pedestrian crossing.
Neil, do we have to have two signals, one for each direction, or just one?
That's an excellent question, and the study and the standards included in the MUTCD will bear that out.
Okay.
Specifically based on the fact that that area of Hart Street is essentially 3 lanes,
Right.
2 north-south and then a center turn lane. So that adds a slight complexity, but ideally, if you could do one unified signalization, the cost would be beneficial to the town and
Right.
the ratepayers.
I looked this week when I was out of town and I was looking at the school districts and they required 2, but that's a little different story, but it was a 3-lane road, so.
Yeah, and it also depends on how far you are from the next signalized intersection,
Right.
which would obviously be at US 30 to the north, 77th at the south, and also side streets and what their configuration is in terms of stop signs. And there would be required additional advanced warning in terms of not only signing, but pavement markings as well.
Correct.
And Neil, I think we discussed this, but the acronym, it's called HAWK, right? A HAWK crosswalk.
Yeah, it's a high, I can't recall it
Right.
directly offhand, but
High
yeah, HAWK is
intensity,
the
something,
acronym
yeah.
for it. You are correct.
And the one that's closest to us is the one on Main Street in Munster.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
directly east of Briar Ridge
Right by
and
the-
kind of on that
right.
Munster-Sherville border where they extended the Pensy Greenway to connect to Munster. And we've received some information regarding what they paid for that signalization. And then I talked to some friends of mine that are in the industry for Midwestern Electric and Hawk. And it's going to be higher than that due to the nature of being a wider road section, 3 lanes versus 2 lanes, and some of the inflation we've seen in the economy in the past 12 to 24 months.
And that was bid in 2018.
That was bid in 2018, and I believe that number was in the neighborhood of 110,000 at that point.
So we're probably
For the intersection.
Yeah, and the signalization, correct.
So we're probably roughly looking at 150,000.
I think that's a very conservative, reasonable estimate of what that cost would be
Okay.
installed.
Thank you, Neil.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Neil. I know several residents brought this up to me about 3 months ago. I originally started with the chief of police and Department of Public Works, and they said they would move it forward. I just want to say thank you to everyone for moving it forward. I will contact those residents in the Vera Minaldi neighborhood and around Pheasant Hills that contacted me to let them know that we're moving ahead with it. So it's a great project. It'll help people cross both ways safely.
Yeah.
And provide opportunity for everyone to utilize our parks.
And
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. for
it's my
everyone.
pleasure. And the way I would see this implemented is once we prepare that traffic analysis, traffic study, we'd work with Jeff DeVrojak and essentially turn the project over to him and you handle it on a staff level. You don't necessarily need an engineering consultant to work with your contractor to solicit three bids under $150,000 consistent with those state bidding statutes for public works projects.
And
Okay.
actually, Neil and I talked about this quite a while ago because of Danny Fagan, and I'm always running across the street taking care of the sign over there for Dyer and Bloom. So.
Well, and I offered to throw a couple road cones out there at my expense, but nobody took that up as the offer for the pedestrian
Yeah,
crossing.
that won't work.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Neil.
Thanks so
If I
much.
can interject, Jeff DeVorjak texted me, the cost is $148,000 for the signal.
Okay.
Received a price quote today. I don't know if
Okay.
there's more than one price quote that's involved or not, but.
I would defer to Adam on that.
Yeah,
but-
if it's under 150, you don't need to solicit bids on it. If your purchase is from 50 to 150, and this is on the upper end, you should solicit more than one price, but you don't need to formally, publish it request for bids. And then you just take whatever the most responsive and reasonable offer is.
148, someone knows how to write a.
Yeah.
Like Earl Scheib, 149.
Somebody knows what they're doing.
Thank goodness.
Thank you, Neil. Do I have a motion to accept this quote for additional street resurfacing from Reith Riley?
Make the motion to award the quote from Reith Riley Construction based on their current contract until unit cost in the amount of $491,524.07, with $240,000 paid from municipal excise and $251,524.07 from the 2020 GO bond.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
So I have one on the Brighton Woods area. Does that entail the whole neighborhood? That's a relatively recent neighborhood.
Look at the map.
It's,
Just notice it's-
yeah, I think that's the original pavement, so it's about approximately 20 years old. The entrance was already redone when they did Sheffield.
I don't think it's 20 years old. That's on there and it's what you're gonna do. It seems, our concern, at least mine is, there's other roads that are far more in need of it, but maybe it's because they did more of a reconstruction than just resurface.
Right, I think,
That's partly true. We've got major projects backing up. That we've been using the community crossing money for that along with utilities. I had a difficult time going in and doing a one or a two when you're gonna tear it up, put sanitary. I don't have the page already to do this. I just saw.
Yeah, I was there not too long ago and surely then looked at that, but
Councilman Craig, if you look at the map,
yes.
you see we're doing Devon and Coral. We wanted to also do Avalon and Belden, but they require extensive stormwater work. And our thought was, we don't want to put it down and then tear it up in 2 years. So obviously we know that whole area, the area north of there, and then areas in Northgate that need extensive underground work. But I know there's a lot of road work, but we're going to get a lot of it done this year. Any other discussion?
What's getting done? Is there a map somewhere?
Yeah, right there.
Look at the last page.
I see it.
Yeah.
Gotta move to Castlewood. They've been paved several times in the last 4 years. But that's just me.
So how's it falling?
I'm trying to orient
Okay.
on where Brighton Woods. So if you take Hart South,
Uh-huh.
probably 3/4 of the way down on the east side.
Okay.
There's a neighborhood that's got two good pillars on the outside.
Yeah.
and it's-
I know where that's at. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
south of 77th there on the east side.
North of 77. Oh, south.
South
South,
of
yeah.
7th, yeah.
North of 81st.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk take the roll?
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Alan.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we have appointment of Council Member Myers as liaison to the Advisory Board on Disabilities. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make that motion, but with the correction on the minutes on the spelling of her name, it's supposed to be Myer like it is above, not Meyers, please.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, will the clerk take the roll?
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Mary,
Aye.
Steve,
Aye.
Alan.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next, we have any and all, but I just want to welcome our newest member, Councilmember Myers.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. You're probably going to regret it in a few months.
No, I'd like to speak on her behalf after meeting with her and having many discussions. A very bright, intelligent person. Has got a passion for not only the town of Dyer, but the disability boards. Comes from a background as being a disability teacher. So I think she'll bring a whole different perspective, which I hope educate all of us and help us along the way, because I'm pretty sure that all of our buildings, no matter who you talk to, are close to being the same, which is taking care of Dyer, taking care of the residents of the town of Dyer, and trying to make it better. Hopefully keeping the costs down and taxes down.
Yep.
So welcome aboard. I'm
Thank you.
happy for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank
Welcome
you.
aboard. Glad to have you.
I'm
Um,
excited. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do we have anything else under any and all?
I just have a donation of $30 to the K-9 gift, if you could accept that.
Okay, do I have a motion to accept the $30 donation for the K-9?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Can we just take a voice vote?
I would rather do both.
Will the clerk take the roll?
Bob,
Aye.
Alicia,
Aye.
Mary. Aye. Steve,
Aye.
Alan.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0.
And could we have one more issue? I'd like to offer our new councilwoman an opportunity to introduce any family she may have here.
I just wanted to introduce the council to my husband, Sean, and my two youngest kids, Maddie and Peyton Myers. They wanted to come and support the town council tonight and say hi to everybody.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Second.
second.
Voice vote?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.